Hey, it's your boy Constviz34 here for another Saturday night stream. Gotta rep some big things going on in my sports fandom. So I gotta have my UConn Huskies t-shirt, the four-time champion t-shirt there. And then I gotta rep my New York Yankees. Gotta rep the Yankees right here. We got Yankee Stadium. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. It's my Yankee Stadium blanket. Uh, UConn basketball is returning to the Big East, and the Yankees beat the Red Sox in another long game, even though it was overseas and started at 1 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Still went long, but I am happy for a couple of my teams here. UConn men's basketball joining the Big East in 2020, and then the Yankees getting a big win tonight overseas across the pond in a soccer stadium, which is a cool thing. But we are not here to talk sports as much as we're here to talk DMB. I'm going to see if everyone gets on. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. You guys come in, let me know if you can hear me. And still wait for people to come in. Hey, Ryan, you can hear me? Okay. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. I'm going to send a link to my Twitter. I can get that link out. Okay. So let me get back. Shared the link for the page. But welcome everyone who is here. I see Ryan. I don't know if Alan. See if Alan is going to come on too. See if we can get him on. All right, and then also some other interesting DMB news is last year tomorrow, June 30th, 2019, is also the anniversary for my friend's wedding, which I officiated my first wedding. And my friend Pete and my friend Megan, they got married and they had Here on Out as their first dance. A little set changer crossed off, I'll back you up. And towards the end of the month last year, it would come tomorrow coming out. They decided to switch up the song from I'll Back You Up to Here on Out. And I'm glad they didn't choose You and Me because to me, You and Me is not a good wedding song or just a romance song. It's a cool song, but to me, it's not as well written as the other love and romantic and be together songs, in my opinion. That's just me. You and me together, we can go, yeah, yeah, like that. Nah, it's not on par with I'll Back You Up. It's not on par with Here on Out. Even Steady as We Go to me is better as far as the meaning of it, the lyrics, the writing. But that's just me. I mean, some people like You and Me. Some people got married to it. That's just how I feel. Is anyone here? I don't know. Comment again, Ryan, if you're here. It's showing nobody's around. We're going to talk about the stream from last night, Sirius XM stream. Oh, long weekend, still recovering. Gotcha. That's how I felt about last weekend, going to the two shows, and I just the whole week I didn't work out. Like I was like, I think I walked about 4 miles on Saturday between the tailgating and parking in Hartford, tailgating, walking to the tailgate, and then walking back. About 4 miles total. So I was And I was like, oh, I'm gonna work out. No, I'm gonna sleep Monday, Tuesday, same thing, Wednesday. And I think Thursday, no, Wednesday, I think I finally worked out, and or Thursday I took off or something like that. And Friday I worked out again, ran today, but I've been recovering from that. All right, well, if anyone comes in late, they'll have to catch everything on the flip side of this on the recording. But we're gonna talk about last night. Yeah, so yeah, I did see last night. So now I saw it in clips and I saw a lot of it on replay. I was a little busy at the beginning of the show from 8 to about 9:45, 10. And then no, actually at 10:30, I think. But I did catch some of it. I started, like, I tried to go back an hour and listen to the beginning. So looking at the set list from last night, I got Boa, You Might Die Trying, Do You Remember, Funny the Way It Is, Sugar Will, Every Day the Stone, Gray Street, If I Had It All, 41. Everything after that, I did not hear Write a Song yet. I'm going to try to listen to that tomorrow. Well, I heard the beginning of the show, the first half of the show. And now listening to it that last night, there were some rough patches with some of the vocals and some of the sounds. And that's been an issue this year. It's been hit or miss with the live feed. Last year it was amazing. It was spectacular. It just literally SPAC spectacular. And today they opened with Anyone See the Bridge today, which was different. I should talk about it as well. But last night's set was to have Best of What's Around. One thing they are doing good this year, up to three. One thing they're doing good this year is the openers are getting a little more spice. They are getting a little more spice than normal. They're not doing the That Girl Is You or the standard stuff. They've had 41 open. Sorry, guys. They had 41 open in Hartford and Boa last night, and Anyone See the Bridge this night. Like, they are doing a good job at the beginning of shows, and last night was a good example of that. And If I Had It All was interesting. That's kind of the liberation of the show. Hadn't been played since 2012, May 19, 2012, which is a very long time. Just even going to, I've seen since May 19, 2012, I've seen 20 shows or Dave Matthews Way to shows. My first show was May 25th. So, that's a nice song to bring back. A little bit choppy. A little bit choppy, but some of that I think was the recording I was listening to. The vocals were a little rough, and some of the guitar parts that Dave played were a little, whatever, but still better than the standard stuff. I like that he took a risk and he brought a song back from 2012. That overweighs any sort of issues they had, and if they keep playing it, it's going to get better. If they keep it with it, practice it a couple times and get the timing right, it's going to only get better. That's one of the big things about this band is they try something out. If they try it again, they try it 3 times, they typically do really, really good with that. And so that was the big surprise. I had it all, and then Write a Song. Now it was played last year in Colorado, I believe. Was that 825, 18? Yeah. Inglewood. And Write a Song was liberated last time. Before last year was 2015. So those are the two special songs, but you still get a Sugar Will. You still get, this was a great set. It's a heck of a set last night. The Boa, You Might Die Trying. And then you have Do You Remember Funny the Way It Is? Sugar Will, Every Day the Stone. And you're 7 songs in. So it was good. And at the end of the set, Write a Song, Granny, Typical Situation, You and Me, whatever, and then Stay. So a great end to the set. And then Grace is going Watchtower to end the show. So, sorry guys. I thought that last night was one of the best Friday, if not, is the best Friday night. And you can argue that it was better than Hartford and Camden. in many ways. I think Hartford had the best ending, which I think Camden had it too. But hello, Angela. Yeah, I need a nap. I took a nap earlier. At the end of the day, at these streams, Saturdays are busy for me. I go running, ran 5 miles today, and do all this stuff. Yeah, I always need a nap at the end of the night, but it's good because that means I'll sleep later. But it was a great show. I think Hartford had a better ending, but and I wasn't there. I can't compare. But I mean, Hartford was just on fire, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. I did a review, but last night was a great show and a great Friday night show. Much better than last Friday when the band was a little flat. They were hit and miss being there. They played some great stuff. Sugar Will, a great crush, a One Sweet World. They played some stuff, but they also played some stuff that was eh. Encore was bad to me, horrible encore. But at the same time, you have some good days, you have some bad days. Hartford, it it, it just reminded me of being at Ryan. Were you at Hartford? Did you go to the? I think you were at the show, right? I think you said you were there, or because that's your home venue too. Yeah. So I mean, it reminded me of, like I said on my Twitter, a team is a facing elimination, so it's like 2 games to 2 in a best of seven series. And Friday they lost, and then it was 3 games. I don't know, or just any, not even game 7, but they're facing elimination. They lost Friday, and then the next Saturday they had to win or they were going to get eliminated, and they played a heck of a show. Um, and Indiana the momentum continued. Um, the one thing about last night, this is just me. Watchtower is amazing. I don't like it as a closer. I like a band to end on something of their own. Even though Watchtower is an epic ride, I'd rather have it as a set closer and the band ends on a Billy's or end on a What You Are, you know, which is something that should be played more at the end of sets. But the one thing the band could improve on is how they close shows, to me, in my opinion. We got Samurai Cop just popped up on the live show. But to me, like, if they even played Two Step to Halloween every night, I wouldn't even be mad. I think Halloween is a heck of a way to end the show, as crazy as that sounds. It's just I like that energy that they have when they go Two Step into Halloween, because even over Ants Marching, I'd rather have Halloween. Ants Marching is a great song, and it's a great way to end the show. But to me, I like the darkness and passion of a Halloween. Um, Even a drive in, drive out, just the message of that ending the show. I would like to see them take more risks instead of just end. They've been ending on Watchtower or Billy. It's just been kind of it's a safe ending. I wish they would take a little more risk with that, even if they repeated Halloween more, because the top closers from this tour, Rapunzel, Ants Marching, 6 and 5. Watchtower only one. I feel like there's been more than one. I don't know why it's saying that. Oh, that's closers. Oh, top encores. Watchtower 5, Two Step 4, which isn't bad. Ants Marching 4, Billy's 2, Gray Street 2, Some Devil. Oh, that's top encores. I'm looking at the almanac. I think they're just looking at everything that's played in the encore, but um, I don't know. They could end every show on Halloween. I'd be happy. That's just me. So tonight, what's going on tonight? Well, they started with anyone seen the bridge, and that's a great way to start. Talking Tunes, you're here. Good to see you. So we're just talking. Anyone see the bridge, which you messaged me about on Instagram? I love them starting with that. I just talked about last night and Talking Tunes. If you have any insight into it, what's the difference between pulling from the soundboard versus pulling from something post soundboard? If you can just comment on that, and we can talk about that because I'm not an audio guy per se. But it sounds like from what people have been saying they're not getting the direct feed from the soundboard. There's like something it's going through, and then it's going to XM. So you can even just comment on that, and we'll look at that even. Oh, the Crushing on Periscope. Yeah, they just played Crushing and Samurai Cop. But if you can even just put a comment on that Talking Tunes, and I would love to, we'll have to talk after this about you even explaining that with your knowledge of radio and just sound, um, of how, like, what may be going on with these live streams, because we're getting good stuff, we're getting bad stuff, and even the night after sounds better. Like they've tightened up some stuff. Sometimes, like last night, I heard some of the same songs twice, and it sounded a little better this morning than last night. Like they almost cut up or modified it. So I don't know. Like again, I'm not the audio guy, not my expertise. When I play gigs, I have them sound check me and plug me into the my acoustic or my electric, get a mic on my electric amp, and then I play. So I'm not too much of a how they pull these recordings type of guy. But yeah, Deer Creek looks like it's gonna be good. Now you still have Samurai, like you have a Samurai Cop. We'll see what they do later because they have a bridge too much to Bayou, and like Bayou is and then you have Samurai Cop, which is sounded better in Hartford with the new Gibson, which is another thing. So Dave has a Gibson Les Paul Jr. And I remember this anniversary guitar coming out. I think it was 2015 ish. He played that, so that the Les Paul Jr. has one pickup. So most guitars have about two to three pickups. Very few have one. A Telecaster has one, and the Les Paul Jr. has one. And Dave was playing a Les Paul Jr. Now it has one pickup, but he's playing Samurai Cop on it. He's not doing a lot of versatile stuff, so it doesn't really matter. There's only one pickup, and he has it in a custom spot on the guitar. But he played Samurai Cop on a Gibson Les Paul Jr. In Hartford, which was different. I think it was the first time he played it on there, and just a special sound. It sounded better. It sounded a lot better and fuller than the baritone guitar he plays on. Their Idea of You just came on. I think that a tour debut. I think that may be a tour debut. I don't think we've seen Idea of You. Let me go to the almanac. This tour. But this show, we'll see what happens. We have to wait until everything comes out because it could change by the song. That's how it goes. Okay, so tour debut. So what Talking Tunes said is, yeah, it's probably running through a mix minus system, so it's more apt to think that SiriusXM is doing a remote as opposed to just plugging into the soundboard. Okay, so it's being sent. Does that mean it's being sent? The sound, like, if that mix is being sent remotely from Deer Creek to the XM studios, is that what you mean, or is like remote? What is that? If you can expound on that. There, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It definitely sounds different, and even the Europe show sounded different. So I was a little bit shocked to see that. I was anticipating these shows coming out, and they're still good. It's better than Paris. It's better than listening to Periscope audio by far. Better than listening to Periscope audio, but when you're paying for a satellite radio and you're doing, yep, tour debut. So last played on September 1st, 18, which was back at the Gourd. In Idea of You last year, looking at the stats for Idea of You, it was played 10 times in the summer tour. And it wasn't played at all in the fall tour. So Idea of You was only played 10 times last year. But it's been a song that's been played heavily over time, all time. So it's been played. It comes out in 06, Batson Sessions, played 121 times. In 2018, we have the 10, 2016, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 2014, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Idea of You really hasn't been played a lot since 2013 when it got on the teens, about 15 or 16 times played. And then even in 10 and 11. So it really was played a lot in 06 and 07. Those are the years, you see Fenway is one of the shows that the Fenway Live Tracks was, I think that's Live Tracks 6. I can't remember which one it is. The Fenway one, you see it a lot. So here we go. Idea of You is back in the mix. And I've always said Virginia in the Rain, Idea of You, they're two great songs from the album that aren't played live that much. Black and Bluebird, another one. Saw it in Hartford last year. It wasn't played really. I don't think it was played after that for full band. I think that was the only time it was played last year in Hartford. So just hopefully those get played more. Where do we want to go over? So next, what I want to talk about is Sugar Will and Satellite. First, I want to talk Sugar Will because there was a little bit of talk on DMB Family, I believe, or People in Every Direction, one of the Facebook pages, about Sugar Will and what's the best version. And what I was saying is this: the best version to me is the one with. Okay. Okay, before we get to that update, Talking Tune says the feed from the venue is run through that mix minus system, and then it's sent back to Sirius XM where they can monitor the feed. Usually, stations are going to do this to create a delay. There's a huge delay. I noticed yesterday the Couch Tour streams were already on the second song before Sirius started broadcasting. So yeah, there is a huge delay. And I tried to do what you said, Talking Tunes at Mansfield. I listened to Crush, or was it Seek Up? I think it was Crush or Seek Up, and they were in like a part of a jam, and they already had moved on to like 2 or 3 minutes into the next song. So they were at the end of a jam of Crush or Seek Up or something like that, one of those songs, and then the next song was already playing 2 or 3 minutes in, so it was a delay. And I'm surprised I got service. It's like the funny thing with I couldn't get service to like send like to post up social media, but I can get a stream of Sirius XM. Anyway, I was able to hear it and see. Yeah, it had to be about 3 or 4 minutes, if not more, of a delay. And since the station is not doing the mission of the audio, it's almost like it just mixes down to one channel. Okay. So you're only getting everything at like one channel versus having the different instruments on multiple channels there, or multiple tracks if it was like a recording. Okay, so that makes sense. That everything's all on one, because the vocals were very, very interesting on the stream versus what people said they experienced at the show. But going back to Sugar Will, I want to look at two different songs and see what the different eras, how they changed. And Sugar Will comes out in 04. Oh, not like Mono, but the venue is doing the mixing. They have to send it to the station in some sort of fashion that they can mix the stream with their board and their audio program. Okay. So it's really the venue that's doing the mixing and then sending. Okay. That makes sense because, I mean, Mansfield, the mix was horrible. I was dead center at the back of the pavilion. And I'm like, huh? Like, what is this? So that does make sense. And I don't know if it's a Massachusetts thing. The TD Garden I heard was bad. My friend went to both TD Garden and Mansfield. TD Garden last year, 2018 fall tour, or winter tour technically, but it was in the fall. And then he went to Mansfield, and both nights he said just stuff was off. The sound was not the band, not the energy of the crowd, but the sound was off. And those were two of the more lower ranked shows. If you listen through them, and like I did, it didn't have the best sets, and it was confusing for both the TD Garden in Boston last year, and then this year in Mansfield. So, but yeah, speaking of, like I said, going to Sugar Will, someone we were talking last year's streams, yeah, they sounded really good, and this year they're not. It's like it's like the first year, whatever wasn't broke, don't fix it. But who knows what logistical things they had to change since then. Um, but the Sugar Will, let's see. I can't remember if it was because there was a couple debates on. But anyway, is it people in every direction of DMB? Oh, Talking Tunes. Yeah, maybe they have all their resources towards Fish Radio. Yo, Ari, you know what's funny? Oh, they just played Trippin' Billies. Wow. So they're doing that earlier in the show. But yeah, since Fish Radio, Ari has not really done as much DMB. He was promoting that at the beginning, and he done dipped. He's posting pictures from Fish shows and stuff now. Ari is full on. Now, Fish is a band he's more of a fan of, so I guess you can't knock him covering what he likes. But Ari Flink or Flink at Flinkerton on Twitter, he was all about the DMB radio. He was all about doing the little cuts, and now he dipped off to Fishland. Yeah, he ghosted. Yeah, yeah. He was like he was selling a dream to a girl. Yeah, yeah. I really care about you. I can't wait to meet your parents. All of a sudden, he just dipped. But anyway, it's all good because we're happy to have the DMB radio channel, and we don't need we like him to promote it. He's doing that on Jam On, even though Jam On's not on radio, on car radios, but on the streaming. But he's still doing a little bit of DMB promotion. But I mean, that's his passion. So if that's what he knows more of, he should be reassigned to that more. Because all we need is the shows. DMB, we don't need commentary on all this stuff. We just need shows and the commentary from the band. So less is more. Less of the chick. You're listening to Dave Matthews Band Radio. Yeah, we know, my dear, my beautiful woman, but don't tell her you're listening to DMB Radio Friday Night Concert Series. Like, less is more. So the more they pull back, we don't need the promotion. We don't need self gratification. At least I don't. I know some DMB fans do, but just play the music for Fridays. I'm good. Anyway, Sugar Will. So Sugar Will comes out in '04. It's one of those unreleased '04 songs that just never came on an album. And although Joyride gets on the stand up companion one, but you have Joyride, Crazy Easy, Sugar Will. And then I think Help Myself had been a little before that, but Help Myself, I think, was played that year a little too. I could be wrong. But you have these songs, they're unreleased. It's a big part of 2004. And this song becomes just something that's going to be played a lot that year. And what's nice about that song is I love how it sounds even with this new band, and things have changed and so forth. And one thing I was trying to say is some people were saying the 2004 version, the way the lyrics are structured, even though there's no set lyrics, but the way everything is structured was better than now. And what I said was this: Sugar Will in 2004 had a reputation from fans I've talked to that went to those shows. It was a snoozer for some fans. Some fans are hardcore. Oh yeah, Sugar Will. What's this? It's mysterious. Dun, 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 dun. And I love the song. Love the song to death. But without an electric guitar, Sugar Will just doesn't hit as hard. It's one of the few songs from the catalog of Dave Matthews Band that electric guitar, it makes it better. Crush is another example of this, obviously, because it's headlined by that high treble bluesy guitar. Deep forward sound of like a BB King with the treble lead type of thing you push up on your Gibson. So it's a mix of the deep and high. But Sugar Will without an electric guitar, the best version is the one with Santana from the live tracks in San Francisco, Golden Gate Park, I think it's called, is the name of the park. But right, there's 30 different versions as far as the lyrics. But to me, where the jam part of it is better with the electric guitar. So the current version is better because Santana didn't play on live tracks too, right? I always get Hartford in that mix. The first three, Worcester is the first one, and then San Francisco is the second one, and Hartford's the third one, and they all just like blur into me. I know them all, and I know the distinguished sounds of them, but I just always get them mixed up. So you didn't have any Santana playing on everything back then. Yeah, live track 3 is amazing. And so the ones that the majority, 99% of the Sugar Wills in '04 didn't have an electric guitar jam. And just like my thoughts on Mercy, the jam of the jam and Sugar Will needs something extra. Boyd can't step in and do something. A piano can't really do as much. It does a little bit. It helps a little bit because you have Butch back then. But the electric guitar just takes that song to a whole another level. So the Dave here on out, Tripping Bills here on out. So the Dave verses in that part of it, which should be just acoustic guitar because you get used to that, you enjoy that little rhythm in the space. That is better in '04 by far. But to me, the jamming part of it, the jamming at the end of it is better now. 2016 it was better, and in 2019 it's better. I loved hearing it both times. 2016 Mansfield, 2019 in Mansfield. The end of it, Tim Reynolds, that's where he should be playing electric guitar, like an electric guitarist plays electric guitar. In other parts of the music, he needs to chill, which we'll talk about in Satellite. But with this song, do your thing, Tim. He doesn't make mistakes. He's a machine, and he slays those solos. And that's what I'll say about Sugar Will is the jam is better now. The verses and all that, the passion in Dave's voice was better back in the day. But it's still, to me, a great song to hear live. And a lot of times it's a jam band. Well, they're not a jam band, but you listen to the band for the extended jams. So I think that Sugar Will is good when you have Tim Reynolds there, when you have a Santana there. And it'd be interesting to see both of them. Hey, Santana, come visit the Gorge. I know he's touring this year. He's coming to Connecticut, Hartford. Still got to figure out if I'm gonna go see him. It's just Gorge is taking a lot of my money, so can't go to as many shows locally. But then Satellite. So I posted on Twitter. Talking Tunes. I know you saw it. Posted on Twitter that some of Live Tracks 31. That Satellite is so amazing. The intro is really dope. So Live Tracks 31, Camden, New Jersey, 2001. Check that out. I think it's 6/23/2001 is the show. And listen to that. That version is just amazing. And what's great about it is first you have space, right? There's tons of space. There's not a lot of noise in the verses. And also you have piano really supporting Dave. And Dave sounds like he's not even playing chords. You can't really hear him in the chorus, which is to me the best part of that. Dave's guitar in the chorus is very hard to play. He goes from one chord and he slides his hand down to the other chord. And it's not really an organic slide because he has his three chords. You go dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. So you have like your three hands right here, your pointer and your ring and your pinky. You're going like this, and then you slide down to a different chord like here. So it's boom, dun dun dun, and then you got your hand like this. Give me some money. I'm Tony Montana. I'm Tony Soprano. How you doing? Whoa, Paulie. Hey, Paulie. Nah, I'll stop. Paulie, go get him. Christopher, come here. But like, so he goes from this to sliding to back, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you don't hear him doing that as much in this recording, but it doesn't matter. The piano fills in, and I would love to see Buddy come in with the keys to have just some support on the side, like Tim to either just go away, go do a pull of Rashawn, go take a break, Tim, or just kind of be really, really gentle. And the horns don't need to go like just quiet, and it floats. Just like Talking Tunes was saying when I mentioned that to him earlier on Twitter. It floats. It's delicate. Dun, 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 dun. It's supposed to be ballet dancer. Tiny. It's supposed to be Elton John, Tiny Dancer on the ballet floor, in the hall, the music hall in New York City. Oh, Squirm. Hey, that may be a tour debut. Kindness is your king. Let's go back. Let's go to the tape. We'll see, but so Squirm is coming out now. But I think that I would love to see that. And that brings me to my next point, which is Buddy Strong. Buddy Strong is the man. He is not doing anything wrong. But I would love to see his piano be focused more. I would love to see them turn up his piano and be more like, even if I had it all, he played organ, which was fine, but even just having a piano, a song like that, him playing piano would be dope. Like, just to hear him have those gentle keys. Squirm, which is a tour debut as well, has not been played for 25 shows. And that was in Italy on the European tour. Yep. But Buddy Strong, he is slaying. He's doing the darn thing. But I would love to have them let him shine more. I feel like even last year I heard him more in the mix. You hear him singing on Stand Up and Bayou, and he can sing stuff, and we don't have to hear stand up. Okay, band, we don't have to hear stand up. We don't want to hear stand up. Um, you can just do a Junior Walker shotgun cover, which is just, it's not the shotgun Dave plays, but just sing that song. Okay, we don't need stand up. Okay, just, you guys know that. I hope you guys know we don't need to hear stand up. We don't need to hear Bayou. Okay, it's okay if you neglect stand up the entire album. So just letting you guys know that, if any of the bands listening, I love you guys. You guys doing great. Keep up the good work. But we don't need to hear stand up. So, but I would love to have Buddy's keys be more of a crucial part of this band in the mix. You hear him when he plays the organ, but you don't really hear him as much in the venue with the keys. On Bartender for sure, but I didn't hear Bartender this in the last two shows. Certain stuff, Raven, you hear him on When the World Ends, but some of the other songs could use more keys. So, um, Hello Again. Oh, You Might Die Trying. I forgot that's on that album. You Might Die Trying is fine. Hello Again. I mean, You Might Die Trying though. I'll allow. I'll look at the wrestling on MTV with the Clay wrestling. I'll allow it back in the day. The Celebrity Death Match. Yeah, that's what it was. I'll allow it. Yeah, You Might Die Trying. And Stolen Away, I guess. I mean, Stolen Away was made for the acoustic sets. It's not made. It's not as good as. Oh, and Smooth Rider. Smooth Rider. I don't mind that. Um, and I know some people may not like it, but Smooth Rider is another good song from that album. Yeah, I mean, I know American Baby intro too. Yeah, I guess you could pick a couple songs. I mean, I wouldn't be. I'm not dying to hear American Baby intro, especially without a violin. That's one song that I'll say without a violin, like, and I don't want to hear American Baby. Who wants to? The intro's lit. I'm good with "Lying in the Hands of God" having the American Baby intro vocal interpolation. So, but You Might Die Trying. Okay. And Smooth Rider, which I heard a partial Smooth Rider back in, which would be a great song for Buddy with those keys. Dun 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 dun. I'm a smooth rider. Um, let me play it. That was at Mansfield one year. I can't remember which year it was, but it was in the Encore one spot. They snuck it in there. I was like, oh, Smooth Rider. Okay, okay, I feel you, dog. Um, so I don't mind that. But yeah, most of stand up, you don't have to play. But Buddy, I would love Buddy to get in the mix, just to have him be more highlighted on certain stuff. Now that the dude kills it every night. None against Buddy himself. It's about the mix, having him more highlighted. Some people still don't like the organ. I mean, even a song like "If I Had It All," the organ does add a little effect. Even though I would love Buddy on keys on that. The more the keys, especially the bass notes on the keys, the bass keys on the left hand, just dun dun dun, like having that would be dope. But I would love. I think he'd be better on the keys overall. But the organ was fine on that song. It needed, or it has organ is great fill for that. So yeah, that's Buddy Strong. What else here? You're at a family reunion in Ohio. Hey, thank you for popping in. Family first. Hey, enjoy the family reunion. You only can do that once every couple of years. Some people once a decade. I've only been to like two family reunions. So and I'm 28. So enjoy it, Patrick. You're in Ohio. You're in Talking Tunes estate now. I know, Patrick. You're a Michigan guy, so the last place you want to be is in Ohio. But for today, enjoy the family and go Buckeye. No, just kidding. Go Buckeyes. Um, so Dave does go to Riverbend. Riverbend, right? Because Talking Tunes is coming there next week, Tuesday. Oh, is it since? Yeah, since yeah, because that's Riverbend. Although I made a joke Talking Tunes. Sorry, hope you're not offended. I because UConn's leaving the Big East, and there's Cincinnati fans that are mad. Oh, because you're closer to Cleveland. Are you in Cuyahoga County or are you outside of Cleveland, or like even further? Oh, you're in Cuyahoga because you're in Cleveland. Okay, so you're in that county, that Cleveland. Okay, but I was making a joke because oh, you're the county next door. Okay, I have friend. I'll have to hit you up because I have a family friend, my old babysitter. Her family relocated to Bowling Green, which is closer to Toledo up in north, way up north there. They relocated up there. You're a city from Cuyahoga. Okay. Warehouse just being played. But anyway, I was making fun of Cincinnati fans. They're mad that UConn's leaving the Big East. I mean, leaving the AAC to go to the Big East. And I said I'd be mad too if I had to wake up every day in Cincinnati and I look across the river at Kentucky. So it was more of a shot at Kentucky because who likes Kentucky? Okay. You're from Cuyahoga. You're 5 minutes from the county line. Okay. So you're right on the border. I know how that is, here in Connecticut. There's certain times you're just right over, you're right. You may have a different area code, but you're right over from where the next area code, the next county is. Distance doesn't, where your county is doesn't necessarily tell you where you are because you're at the border. But yeah, I took a shot at Cincinnati. Um, like you have to wake up and look across the river at Kentucky every morning. What sort of motivation is that? um, that was my little shot. But shout out to anyone from Cincinnati. Um, I mean, you don't even have the airport in your the Cincinnati airport's in Kentucky. You don't even get the airport in your state. Yeah. Right, that's a whole because that's more Appalachia. Not even Appalachia, it's a different way where you guys are more to me, people from Cleveland, you're more upstate New York, Michigan, like you're more like nicer Michigan, upstate New York, where down there, Cincy, that's more of like that blue collar, very slurred speech, Southern accent, just a lot more country. Even though all of Ohio may have rural areas, it's more Appalachia to me from just people I've met from that area, and it's closer. So yeah, I know it's. Anyway, I'll stop on that because people are like, why are you talking about Ohio? Um, yeah, it's a very city, right? So yeah, the next stops we have here are Cincy, Tinley Park, and then we have Alpine there. So let me interesting to see what they do. They go from and they're flirting with the east with the central time zone because um, Noblesville or Deer Creek is a couple hours away from the part of Indiana that's the central time zone. They're going to back to Ohio, and then go to Tinley Park, which is in the central time zone, just outside of Chirac, aka Chicago, and then they go to Alpine, the two in Wisconsin, which are central time zone as well. Then they go back to Michigan on 7/9. They're going to have the weekend after the 4th, and then they go back to Michigan in the Eastern time zone, Clarkson. So, but what was I going to say? I like the way the band is, and Ryan can attest to this. The the energy of the band, they're in a good spot right now. They are just in a really, really good spot for what they have. Okay. There's no violin. All right. It's not coming back at this point, this tour. So you just have to enjoy what they have now. I like Stefan, and you can hear the bass in Hartford, hearing his harmonics in Typical Situation, which I never had heard before, but my friend told me allegedly that's what happens in Typical Situation is he plays harmonics. Dave plays harmonics at the end of Typical Situation. All that is the little tap of when you get on a certain fret of the guitar, it has that little ring out effect here. So let me show you. So like on the 12th fret, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but very popular in rock music. So there's certain frets that if you tap it at the right, you get at the right angle. It's all about the technique. You can do it, and some people just like they can tap it and do it a lot better than me. But he was great at harmonics. Yeah, it depends. Like sometimes I'm feeling it more than others, and I feel like warmer weather, like today, when it's colder. When it's colder, it's hard to get them. But when you have your strings in a good like temperature and everything, it's easier to do. So yeah, that's the harmonics. You can get up here. So Stefan is doing those deep bass harmonics. So you would get the skill. Oh, so he's a metal style. Okay, yeah. So you get the squeal. Yep. Like and Tim does those harmonics on "Don't Drink the Water." There, and they get out there. So because that's where the in the recording too when Dave plays it. That's the end of Typical. So that's I don't know how good you guys can hear that because my mic is horrible on my laptop. YouTube will let me stream from my phone. Be better, and I'm trying to hopefully upgrade my equipment sometime in the next year. But yeah, so that's the. I mean, most people know that if you're a guitar player, but if you're not, you may not know that. I taught myself guitar later in life, 10 years ago at 18. So a later bloomer to guitar than picking it up at 13 or 14 or 10. So I had to learn that stuff. But yeah, I like where the band's at. And a show like Hartford, a show like Deer Creek, I'm really learning though that the set does matter. It does because what you're seeing now that the sets are getting better, the chatter online is this show is better than that show. Where last year it was more like, oh, be happy the band's here. Hey, be happy they're still playing. And that's how it was in Europe. Be happy the band's still playing. But once those sets start to get lit, people start trying to compare them. Oh, no, I was here. So they want to stand up for their city. Or some people will just feel a show better. They like a set list better than another one. They nope, that one was better. But you have people that go to Deer Creek every year, and someone was like, Deer Creek is the best. That's the no. Spack and Alpine all day over Deer Creek. Now, again, I can't talk about the hospitality. I'm going to possibly go to Deer Creek next year. I'm making preliminary plans to be ready for that. With my boy John Dix hitting them up. But I can't talk about the experience of like the people because I've heard the people are great there in Indiana. But all I can tell you is from the sets, from the sound of the shows that I've heard from tapers, Deer Creek is amazing, but SPAC is better. See, I think that Alpine and SPAC are above. I would say Deer Creek and West Palm Beach are separate little. Deer Creek, West Palm Beach, and Camden are kind of their own little lane. But to me, the best two venues, the best shows, the best encores are at SPAC in Alpine and in the Gorge. The Gorge is just there's 3 nights of it, and they bring out a lot. And you can argue 2016 the best show is SPAC night too, over any Gorge show. But I think that it's like to me, it's Gorge up here, SPAC and Alpine, then it's like Deer Creek, West Palm Beach, and Camden. And Guilford's there too. Guilford's on that level, but Guilford got moved last year. Guilford was getting really good sets last year, and in a couple years before that. So if we look at Guilford, New Hampshire, a very intimate. I think the reason that Dave plays well there, it's really like SPAC. Guilford is really like SPAC, out in the wilderness. Out, it's. Yeah, Hartford and Mansfield used to be at. They used to be with Dick, but once they moved to one night each, whatever the Saturday show was the best. So Hartford had two in 2014. Mansfield had the last two in 2013. 2015, they both have one. Okay, I've been to every show, of the single night runs, moving forward from 2014. I haven't missed a show in Hartford and Mansfield. So 2015, Hartford was I. Oh no, actually no, that's not true. Actually, both nights were great in 2015. Excuse my language. 2015, we got Branford Marsalis in Hartford. I was in the pit, and the next day I was in the lawn in Mansfield. So we got Virginia in the Rain in Hartford. So Hartford was great. Friday night of 15. And like, for sorry guys, we're only doing one show here now, and you guys used to have 3 nights. So to make it up, we're gonna have a killer show. Branford Marsalis. Then Mansfield in 2015 had a heck of a show. I was listening to it the other day. Raven in the Stone and the acoustic. So the acoustic set for Mansfield that year it was amazing. Before we even get to the main set, the acoustic was just, you had this DMB2 sets. The acoustic sets were pretty cookie cutter. You had some special stuff, but they were very cookie cutter because they just, you have to make a whole acoustic set. You can't, they can't bust out the whole catalog acoustically, so they're limited. So going to the shows I've been to, my shows in 2015, like I said, Hartford was dope. In Mansfield, we get Little Red Bird, Bartender, So Damn Lucky, Satellite, Raven, The Stone, Where Are You Going, Trippin' Billy, Stolen Away, and What Would You Say? That was the acoustic set. And then the electric set, Minarets, Rooftop, which was dope, Gravedigger to Nancy, So Much to Say, Bridge, Too Much, Ants Marching, Virginia in the Rain, 41, and then Black and Bluebird, which was amazing that year. Oh, that's when we got Smooth Rider, because Everyday Gray Street. And then in 2015, okay, so you get all this great stuff, Everyday Gray Street. Then we get a Smooth Rider into two-step to end it off. So that was a heck of a year. And then 2016, they switched it. They said, well, Hartford is the better. Oh, Fool to Think. They just played breaking news. Fool to Think was just played on Deer Creek. Warehouse the Fool to Think. But 14, they had the same weekend as all the CT Fireworks. White lost the second night. I guess, yeah. Oh, yeah. They did have a lot of stuff that night. Yeah, because that was in July. But you know what? The thing about that though was Grind is they moved that to July that year. Remember, DMB has been getting June and May from the 2012 post Caravan. They had it more in June. I think there was just so many other. There was so much other stuff. I don't know if it was the country shows that pushed them out or just the touring of DMB because both in 2014. Oh no, you know what it was? Because Mansfield that year, that was the year the Lovely Ladies came. So the Lovely Ladies were in because I went to that show in 2014. That was in June. That was like 6-7. Yeah, they wanted the gap with SPAC. Yeah. So they played Mansfield, and then I was like, see you in a month, which was kind of cool because you get to see the band in 2 different spots. I got to see the band in early June. The ladies come, and the lovely ladies didn't come to every show that year. And in that show, I'll tell you this: I will fight anyone. And I'm not a huge fan of lovely ladies. That was a heck of a show because the ladies came, and sure, you knew they were going to probably play "Stay," but that 30, that I call it a 36 light. They essentially did number 36, except they didn't do the full jam. But that, like that show was amazing. So it because it was a standalone show, and then the lady just kept going. You're like, okay, now the in like they didn't go to every show. So the shows that they didn't hit, the venues they didn't hit in 2014, they went in 2015. So like if they didn't hit you in 2014, they had you the next year. Some of them were crossed over to the next year. But like the ladies came through that night and it was just great. And then you started seeing the same stuff. And then the whole point of going to a bunch of D&B shows is to not have the ladies end your show every time, either one of two ways. Then they were doing Drunken Soldier, and that's not a star, that's a set. That's for Sean. This day. No, ladies, you guys are lovely. Don't do that. Don't say it's not a star, it's Dave, or it's the beautiful Sean or Jeff. Like, no, it's just a waste of time. So, and you stay wasting time, lovely ladies. When you sing out and go all elegantly out, I love it at church. When I go to church on Sunday, I don't want it at D&B. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So 14, things get messed up. And I think the ticket sales too, the lawn was not selling. The lawn was not selling as much. And even this year, you saw a lot less lawn, but the lawn wasn't fully full this year in Hartford. You're not seeing college kids as much. You're not seeing any high schoolers. Only high schoolers that are coming with their parents. It used to be high schoolers 14 and 15. I'm 28. Mid 2000s, I'm in high school, and kids are coming drunk as freshmen and sophomore in high school to Hartford. Hartford has the youngest crowds of, to me, any other venue I've been to for any artist. They have a lot of rowdy partiers in early high school, not, and people are drinking early high school, or whatever, but to come to a concert for an adult act and to see 14 to 15-year-old kids is something you only see at Hartford. You don't see that everywhere. Even though the kids do go to D&B shows, it's a little more tame. I mean, kids are wild. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, kids were wild. So the lawn isn't selling, but they cut it and then they just never brought it back. And the band wanted to reduce their show. They wanted to expand to different locations. They have a couple of different shows they've added. Right. Only venue where the ambulance are running pre-show. Okay. I mean, Mansfield has never had a problem. They have jerky adults and immature adults. This dude had a Jeep at Mansfield, right? Okay, I drive a Hyundai Elantra, okay? So I'm by no means trying to be like the cool guy, tough guy. People who drive Jeeps, you drive trucks, that's cool. Do your thing. But when you drive a Elantra, so like for me, I'm not going to park in certain areas because I have an Elantra. If it's going to snow, I can't park in certain areas. I can't drive certain roads because I have an Elantra. This dude had a Jeep. I can't remember which one it was, but he had a Jeep, and they were parking people on the grass of the premier lot because what they wanted to do is they wanted to, some of the parking spots they didn't want to fill so that traffic could flow out. So they had people parking up on the grass, and there was a little bit of dirt, yeah, they oversell it, right? They do. But this year, what was interesting, they were really like certain stuff I never saw people driving, and we walked in towards 7 o'clock. I know I was trying to hit you up before the show. It ended up working out. Like a lot went on. They didn't let my bag in. I had to go back. They didn't let my drawstring bag into the venue, which Hartford I've never not have a problem. But with the Boston bombings, Boston and greater Massachusetts, greater Boston area shows is hard. Anyway, so it's hard to get the bags in. So I just was a mess, but I would love to see him there. Greg, right? I think your name is Greg Grattan. But next year, we'll definitely have to try to meet up. I should have more time. Okay, yeah, and but this dude, like, he literally has a Jeep, and he didn't want to park on this part of the grass that had a little bit of dirt. It wasn't like full grass; it was dirt. So I'm not parking my Jeep. But what? You're a grown man with a Jeep There's a reason you don't have a you have a Jeep just to be like, oh, I have a Jeep. Like, no, the whole point of having a Jeep is you can cruise back roads, have fun, have a blast. He did not want to park on this little bit of dirt. He wanted to park over there in the grass. So like that's the type of just prick. Like, come on, man. Right? Yeah, they don't want to get them dirty. Right? But yeah, probably yeah. But it's like, why have a Jeep? Like, either have a Jeep, and I know you want to get it in good pristine condition. I can understand if it was like a swamp, but dude, you have Jeep. Like the tires, you're elevated. Like this is the Xfinity Theater lot. This is not a back road, like because it's rained a lot in Connecticut and Massachusetts. It's not like a swamp or just a bunch of wet dirt. Like, dude, just put anyway. And then there's just people like there's just some people that were annoying there, like trying to drive the wrong way into the lot and just to drive. But that's Massachusetts drivers and Connecticut drivers too. They're horrible. Right. So yeah, other lots that get stuck. Yeah, these were not gravel or like really dirt lots where yeah someone's gonna get stuck. Plus, you have a friggin' Jeep. Okay. Like no, it was just a little bit of the grass had dirt on it. It wasn't like fully finished out or whatever. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about that. But yeah, Hartford has the Saturdays now. I think that's how it'll be. Mansfield got switched over. 2015, they got the Saturday, and then now it's switched back to now Hartford has the Saturday spot locked in, and they've had the better shows. But they used to be on that level because we're talking about the ranking of the stuff. Hartford had 3 nights. You know, you look at the live tracks three. They played 3 nights there. They did that in Camden and Deer Creek as well, I believe, was some of the other venues they did that in. And I think Mansfield had 3 nights one of the years. But it's cut down, so it's different. And that's the other thing with the sets. The sets are not going to be the same because the sets used to have there were less places they would go per se. They would still tour a lot more. They had a lot more stops, but they would do 2 nights at more venues, and that's really where they went. But to me, going back to Guilford, New Hampshire, you have 6, 12, 18, again and again, So Right, Granny, 41, Can't Stop, Hella Go Again. Some other highlights, Lying in the Hands of God, Sister, PNP with Puns. So, I mean, they had Save Me, though. And then that was night one. And they just played again and again. And then night two, Lie in Our Graves, Steady as We Go. This is 2018. Nancy's You Never Know was played. So You Never Know was one of 3 You Never Knows last summer was played at Guilford. They played a lot in the fall. But they in the summer they only played it 3 times. That was one of 3 times. And then going to previous show at this venue. Go back again because they've done 4 shows. 2016, they start off with Say Goodbye. They have a Seek Up and I Need a Word tease to Big Eye Fish, Bismarck. Break Free is played there, right? 6 of 8, one of 8 Break Frees in 2016 was played in Guilford. Lie in Our Graves. And that was night one. First time Say Goodbye to open the show since 7/5/2000. So 2016, before that Guilford show, the first time it was 2000. And then go to previous show at the venue. So I mean, Guilford's had some great shows. When the World Ends, so this is 7/12/16, night one. They had Nancy, Sugar Will was played. When the World Ends, and the Rooftop. And they just played Rooftop at as someone just said. I see you guys just commented. So Away from the World is on the board, folks, for the full band. This is good. This is breaking news. This is what I would have hoped for. You have Rooftop. You don't have Mercy or Belly Belly Nights, which is Belly Belly not bad. It just was overplayed. So that's Away from the World debut. That's what John Dix just posted me. Wow, away from. I'm just texting John. So John Dix is usually on here. He's at the show. He'll be at Alpine, which I won't be at, and he'll be at SPAC. So he'll be at all the weekends after this. Uh, pick. Yeah. So, and it's going to be interesting to see, like you just said, what happens at Riverbend and Tinley because Alpine is going to be great. What does he do? Does he test something? Because they'll test something before they bring it to the major venue. You've seen at times like Sugar Will was played out. Now I know it's a little different because it wasn't a 2 night stand, but they tested Sugar Will out, you know, back in Riverbend gets Halloween. How many is Riverbend the Halloween one? Or is that Cuyahoga the one up there by you talking to is the closer one to you? Oh, Blossom, right. Blossom, that's what it's called. Is Blossom the Halloween or is Riverbend? I can't remember. I know there's one that they always get Halloween. Which venue gets Halloween a lot? I think I'll probably find it here. There's one of them like Halloween has been played there a considerable amount of times. I'll have to look. I'm looking up right now. Let's see. I'm looking at 16. Riverbend. Venue history. Halloween once. Riverbend. Let's see. I'm looking here. They got it like back to back. Is it? Uh, may have been Riverbend. Oh, 4 times at Riverbend. Okay, it was Riverbend because they kept getting it. They've got and that's all been recent because I'm looking at it right now because they got it back to back years and then they got it. Um, so yeah, but rooftop. The other thing too is the breakdown of rooftop. The thing about rooftop that stands out, even from the broken things, which I love in the riffs, they were able to take that song and add some more to it than the regular recording. That breakdown in rooftop is amazing. The breakdown in rooftop is amazing. They do the dun dun, and then I want you to tell me what you, and, and you see that in the Greek Theater live track, and I think there's another one that has it as well. But that's a song that a lot of that album has to be played standard. That's a song where they found a way to funk it up, mix it up, just like all the other stuff. The warehouse, how warehouse has a little sausage. How typical has the dun 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 dun. How Ants Marching has a little. They extend the little hoedown and they do the count dun dun two 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1. Carter had a lot of fun with that. That's what Rooftop has that the majority of that album doesn't have. Drunken Soldier has a Dreaming Tree effect where I call it that because Dreaming Tree is a song where it's just like the prog rock stuff from Genesis, where it's a journey. You go from this to that to that. You think of Shine On You Crazy Diamond and some of the other Pink Floyd stuff where there's different parts to it. Rush, 2112. That whole suite there. Um, that's what Drunken Soldier has. That is unique. The Dreaming Tree has the same thing. You go from this to that to that. So you got the tour debut. Oh wait, the next night Halloween. It's going to water. Oh, the Dreaming Tree. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I mean, the 2013 Hartford show. I mean, that's the thing is that when you look at why I'm such a big fan, the second year, my third show ever, I got Dreaming Tree. My fourth show ever, I got Spoon. I mean, the Hartford and Mansfield in 2013 were just so amazing because I went to Hartford in 2012 in May, and then I went to Mohegan Sun in 2012 in the fall, which was more about being side stage and seeing how the band is right from the side of the stage. Because that show was pretty mediocre, just to be honest. But the next year, my third show, I get Dreaming Tree and Lionel Grays and Running Down the Dream debut, and Ants Marching was phenomenal that night. The next night, I get Boa and Spoon, and Broken Things was played in the first night. Like I just got so much stuff in those two nights, my third and fourth shows, that I was hooked, and I'm going the next time or the next show, which is Mansfield. Got Captain. It's like imagine you're coming into the band and the Roy's already passed away, and the band is very loud. It's not what it used to be. And then you get all these songs like Captain. Within the first four shows, you get Captain. I got Blackjack. I got the Stone. The first song I ever heard was the Stone opener. So like I think Where I Live had a huge impact on my love for Dave Matthews for the live show. I'd heard the hits and all that. Who had it back in the day? But to have four show, the second show is mediocre, but Jimmy Cliff opened, which was really cool. Because Mohegan and I was really close. But the first show, I mean, I had Blackjack, I had a Proudest Monkey that didn't go in the satellite. As much as I'm not earning to hear another Proudest Monkey, it'd be cool, but I'm not like, oh, I gotta chase. But like, I got a Blackjack, I got a Rapunzel, I got like so many. So I got a Time Bomb, and just there was so many things played my first four shows, especially show one, show three, show four. And then I got a True Reflections in my fifth show. Just to have these rare stuff become out. I had within my first five shows, I had two captains and a long black veil. what more do you like? You know what I mean? Like that's very special to have that in that era of the big. So, oh, Water into Wine. That's what I just got a text from John Dix. Is that? Oh my god! You're right. This is the show. I can't remember who said it on here. One of you guys said this is the most like unpredictable show since 2016. Wow, wow. This is great. Just to see this. Let me see if it still hasn't updated. Yeah, this is Curveball, except it happened unlike Curveball last year for Fish. Was that last year? No, that was a couple years ago. Oh, yep. It just said now playing Water into Wine. Oh, oh, that's crazy to have a Jane to Water into Wine. Yeah. He's gonna. I know John's gonna watch this back and be like, an hour go to at the hour mark and be like, like seeing us, like, whoa, there it is. Yep. Wow. So Water into Wine. I mean, that's crazy. But this is what I like to see is the fact that this set is this late in the set. You pick Shotgun. Hey, you never know. At song 16 to have Water into Wine is what I like about this. The band has come out the gates hot, but they've slowed down at time for some of the shows where they come out the gates hot and then they don't go. Yeah, what is it going to go into? Into Satellite, and everyone walks to the bathroom. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. 625.15 was the last quarter of the line. Wow, that's phenomenal though. That they and that's the thing is it's just little stuff like this. Like okay, you can go on the satellite, but to have a water into wine, oh, the almanac may have crashed again. I can't get access to the almanac. Um, oh my yeah. Well, I just got it to load up, but it doesn't have the. So I'm watching a video from John. Everyone is walking to the bathroom right now during satellite. Oh, you guys aren't gonna know this is horrible. I'll put it up on Twitter. This is like people are filing out. People are filing out of Deer Creek right now. Nobody better get more than 10 points I currently have on the set. Now, nobody picked all these. People may have picked one water in the wine. If someone picked that, I honestly, I'd be shocked if anyone picked water into wine for the Settlers game. I mean, that's one that you're not even thinking about. You know, people shotgun or crazy easy or break free. But, you know, the good thing about this, though, is for satellite, they had Jimmy thing last night. So people need to find a way to go to the bathroom, you know. Yeah, talking. I wish there was a way to check to see. Oh, the almanac guy is behind him. I'm gonna have to tell him. Tell him. Unless they share them on Twitter. Right, you don't know. Yeah, it'd be nice. Like I think it would be cool to see after everyone locks in their picks, if you could see everyone else's. Maybe that's something they can improve, or it's hard to do on the app. Like it's, but it would be nice to see what everyone else picks. It would be really a real cool thing. Yeah, so John is in front of the almanac 9 times since 2008. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, water into wine, it's just one of those classic stuff. I mean, water into wine is almost like 36. It's just it's from that era and it just can't it hasn't been now obviously every day is 36, so that's by default it's still played, but like it's just one of those things I associate with the why would they play satellite? The band the thing is the band doesn't they have this tendency to have something special and then to play something safe. And I think that's just for mechanical reasons. Almanac needs Joe Lawler to update the main set list to grab. Honestly, the band, and this is something that I don't have that many songs I perform with my spoken word poetry, but when I do something crazy, or not crazy, but I'll try something like a random poem for the first time. I then go to something more comfortable, then I'll try something new again. It's very hard. It's not logistically possible for this band to have. You'll see they'll do a full thing and then it'll go to something else, or they'll go to Samurai Cop. It's very hard as a musician, even as a pro, to go from one crazy rare song to another. What you typically do, as far as like is, especially as a band, when you're sight reading and not sight reading, you're practicing. So you go into your soundtrack and you practice 2 or 3 songs. You may bring one of those out that night. After that song, you want to play something comfortable. You just took a risk and now you're going to relax. It's only 10 p.m. in there on song 17. Initially picked 24, but tonight we'll cut it down to 22. They may go to 25. We'll see. The other thing too is it's tough, like with the almanac, because water into wine is really like a segue. Oh, I did. Don't drink the water. Yeah, don't drink the water is 18. So yeah, huh? And it's only 10 o'clock Eastern. My favorite, right? Um, this would this would be a great bathroom break. Satellite into don't drink the water, and then you catch the end of that. That's the other thing too. It shows it's very hard to. I go to Jimmy thing. Oh, you picked don't drink the water at 17. Oh, you just missed it. I mean, technically it is 17, man. That's crazy. Well, yeah, water in the wine shouldn't count as a whatever. I know they're gonna, yeah, but and even the anyone seen the bridge? I mean, it's not technically. I don't know. But anyway, that's whatever. But you really need to have. Yeah, it isn't fun. Uh, for bathroom breaks. You really have to have 2 songs. That's what sucks. Is that's why I like Jimmy thing because you know that you can get through the bathroom line in Jimmy thing for the most part. Sometimes these, but I just made it to Fly Like an Eagle in Hartford. The lines are long, and so, but satellite, don't drink the water. You know you're gonna get a bathroom break in even another Jimmy thing, and then you go back for the rest of the show. I would. That's why I almost wish you could know when they're gonna mail it in and do satellite and then don't drink the water, or like Samurai Cop. But see, Samurai Cop had a crush idea of you sandwich. And if you notice, like, look at this set tonight, just to show you Ryan, kind of give you an idea of what they do. The band does this all the time. They do anyone sees the bridge too much, then they go to Bayou. Now Bayou's high energy, but it's like, it's a, people don't, it's whatever. Um, Minarets to Crush, then they do Samurai Cop, which is a little break. Idea of You, Billy's, here on out. The rest of the band gets a break while Dave plays something acoustic. Squirm, Warehouse, Fool to Think, and then again and again. I mean, that's where you kind of get into stuff, but like again and again is something they know how to play, and Dave doesn't have to play acoustic, so that's a break there. So then they do Rooftop, Jane, More Than a Wine, and then Satellite's an easy one. Don't Drink the Water, high energy, but the same, pretty easy chords for Dave. Talking Tunes, Sunday took me 2.5 minutes to get out. That's what I hate about sports. Like it's amazing how they don't have the resources to get to have food ready. And now they want you to order in your seat. That's why a lot of these venues now you can order from your seat if you have a nice. And I'm surprised where you were sitting talking to you didn't have like on the netting right behind home plate. I'm surprised you guys didn't have in-seat options where like people come to you. I know it's a pain because it's more you have to tip them, but like, which by the time when you're already paying, oh, it's long. You can tell me later because I don't mind tipping people, but when you're like at a restaurant, I have no problem. I'll give 20%. I'm not one of those dudes who cuts people short, but that's a restaurant. But when you go to a ball game and the beer is $10, and the nachos is like another $10, and you have to tip someone to bring you like pretty much low quality nachos. Some of these ballparks have good food. Some of them have their good stuff, and other stuff is standard crap. So it's like, but when you have to pay all this money to just to have a concession thing delivered to you, and it's literally like just standard McDonald's chicken finger, and you're paying the marked up price, then you got to tip them on that on what your thing is. That's what frustrates me. So I would rather not. I eat before the game. I eat before concerts because it's just a pain to have someone come out either to serve me or to go even to the wait in line and miss the game. You'll buy me some nachos and make the progressive feel. Yeah. I have to get out there. I got to get out to Pittsburgh and Cleveland for the game. That's really all I have right now for this. Any other questions, any other thoughts? But thank you guys for sticking in. A little bit of a slower DMB week. there's been a lot of stuff, but I made 2 videos. I was at the shows, so I can't really talk about the shows that I already made long videos about. But the Halloween video, oh, that thing is getting Two Step in the Halloween is getting a lot of views, and then you never know. I have some other videos, I just didn't upload them. I mean, those are the 2 main ones that people need to see. Yeah, my aunt's marching. So that dude, he was interesting because Talking Tunes, he's met Rush. This dude knows music. He just didn't know DMB, and I think he had connections at the venue because he was like chilling by the wall, and people that chill by the farthest wall, towards the furthest from the stage, like the corners, they tend to have like all access passes that people get sometimes. He seemed like just a music guy. Had a Zeppelin shirt on, tie-dye shirt. He knew Rush because I had a Rush shirt on it, and he had pictures with Geddy and Alex and Neil, like multiple different tours, and he's met the band. So like he knew Rush. He knows Zeppelin. Okay, he just didn't know DMB. He's like, is that Ants marching? They're probably gonna play it, but like, and I wanted to say that on my review video and even on this video because that dude was mad cool. And one thing that we have to do is we have to embrace fans. Even this dude who had no idea how Two Step was, and it was a funny moment. Don't get me wrong, but when people are open like him to DMB, they don't have to be open to DMB. A lot of people hate DMB just to hate him, and I used to hate DMB just because the people who listen to him were too. Oh, it's Dave. It's Dave. Now I'm obsessed with him. Like I used to hate when people just called him Dave. Like who are these people? These snotty like suburban kids I'm going to school with that just like, oh, it's Dave. But now I say, oh, Dave. Like I get it now, but it took me time. So when someone comes to a show, I don't care how you get into the show, what connections you have. Although it's frustrating to see more fair weather, like non-fans get tickets. I don't think he had some sort of badge, and he was at the far corner, so like it is different. But some of these people, they get like dead center seats or box seats, and they have no idea what a Dave Matthews Band is. But at the same time, yeah, we were laughing with him, not at him. At the same time, when people are open to coming, when you have spouses, shout out to Todd G, his wife. I met him and his wife at Hartford, but his wife wasn't really huge into going to shows, and even Todd didn't go to shows for years. He had Before These Crowded Streets on vinyl, but he hadn't gone to a show for a while. Like he never went to his first show until way like 15 years into his DMB's existence. Even though he had Before These Crowded Streets on vinyl, he still didn't go for a while to like the 2000s, I think it was. But anyway, his wife finally went to Dave and Tim, which was a good introduction to what Dave Matthews does, and she was able to get an appreciation for that. And then she started going to full band, and then flash forward to last Saturday, and she gets You Never Know and Halloween. I mean, now she's hooked. So it's like that's what it takes. My friend who I married a year ago, tomorrow, not yesterday, a year ago tomorrow. My friend who I married, who I talked about at the beginning of this video, he said, "Look, we're going along. They got this 4-pack deal, and by the way, on eBay, someone's selling these tickets below face. So we're gonna get these 4 tickets at a really good price." And I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll go." He'd been trying to get me to go. He eased me into it. Also, the same friend who got me into Humphreys, into Peter Gabriel, and also into Genesis. So you would like him Talking to. I think you would really like him. But and Deep Cuts of Guster, he got me into David Gray. So this friend brought me, and then I started to go in 2012. I wouldn't have gone to. I probably would have tried to check out DMB because I was going to shows at the time. BB King, John Mayer. I was going to all sorts of stuff that was going to lead to DMB. PNP Rapunzel encore. You could see that Halloween two-step ants and in any formation. We'll see what happens. But they definitely invested into this show, doing some different stuff. They brought out tour debuts. You picked Two-Step Ants, okay. And being there, I'll say it again, I don't care if two-step is shorter. I like it that way. But this band having less of, they have less surprises. I would rather have them cut. The XM shows, in some ways, I think what's going to happen. I do agree, Grant. Um, but one thing I'll say is the SPAC night one on XM was dope. But the Friday night, I think when they know they're being recorded, they want to give a good mix. But they busted out some rare cuts. But I think it has hindered Friday nights from being better than Saturday, especially for the 2 night shows. For the 2 night shows, but at the same time, Camden got a good night one. Mansfield they got some good selections. The band just was off that night. They got some, and you were there. But like, it does hinder. I think it does. What I think it'll ultimately do is you're not going to have potential for a live tracks on a Sirius XM Friday night stream, which is kind of depressing because there are shows from live tracks that were from Friday nights. Okay. So it's really disheartening because when the band's not going to be recorded at all, everything is up for grabs, right? Where if they are, yeah, so they're not doing any crazy new covers. They're bringing back old stuff, and even with Sugar Will, they practiced it in Bethel Woods. They brought it to Mansfield. Um, so the Stones been practiced a lot during the week, and they bring it to some of the Friday night shows. So yeah, it is kind of a bummer, but it is nice to be able to sit in. And to be fair, last night they played Write a Song. They played Write a Song. So I think the first couple of Friday nights that they had the Friday night streams last year, I really felt, but it also was an album year. I really felt they were pushing the heck out of the album. They were using the XM. I'm like, oh my gosh, so much come tomorrow. Like, oh, so much cookie cutter. Oh, we're playing You and Me and this and that. Like, where this year, we have gotten some special gems, but at the same time, you're not going to get a live tracks, obviously, because it's exclusive content. Right, Alpine and Spat were both, on. I was at that SPAC night too on last year when it was on YouTube, which was cool to see the video. You get home late at night here in Connecticut, driving through Western Mass via upstate New York, and you get home and I was watching a little of the video, the stream. So we'll see what we get for the encore. I'm gonna head off. Had a long day. Thank you guys for the support. Definitely comment on Twitter whether you agree or disagree. I love the conversations. I love learning because I don't know everything. I will fully admit that I don't know everything about DMB. I'm learning, and my perspective is different than someone who's been been to shows longer or knows more. Like in talking tunes, you have a lot of good insight about certain things. Running a radio show, having sound, knowing certain things about the band that I don't know. So that's why I like having these conversations. And definitely let me know talking tunes about Cincy. And we'll talk behind the scenes because even if you want to send us, you don't have to social media your entire video. I mean, your entire show on Tuesday. But even if you want to just give us some clips before the show, talk to fans, and if you're okay with putting it on one of my videos, we can collab and have it put up there. But I'll talk to you behind the scenes because between you and DMB Mamas, who's Leah, I know I'm gonna pronounce it. I think it's Leah. It's either Leah or Leah. I think it's Leah. But talking DMB Mamas, I would love for her to when she goes to Florida to have some just video there so we can share more of the community because that's what I try to do is I can't do everything. It's good to have other perspectives and just me running my mouth for an hour and a half like tonight. So if you want to take video, anyone, if you guys go to any shows, Deer Creek Alpine, you want to take video about your experience, we can put it up on my page. I mean, by all means, put it up on your stuff. But you can send it to me via, we can message and do whatever, and I'll figure out a way to add it to a YouTube video because it is good to see different parts of the country, different perspectives, different people, not just me. It's a community, and I really appreciate the support. But that's it. It's your boy Conserviz 34. We'll see what happens in the encore. Hopefully there's something special there. Maybe we get something that we haven't seen. You know, what you are, or something very special that we can't even comprehend right now. In the encore, be really cool. Drive in, drive out. Even something I can't even think of. Like I said, something. Hopefully it surprises. That's it. I'm leaving. Peace.